Today is story time with Adam. Welcome back to STG, guys. Glad you could join me for another episode today. I am excited about today's video, but before we jumped into it, I wanted to do a couple things. One, I wanted to show you a new toy. Well, organizational toy, I guess. Check this out. I'm sure you guys have seen it, probably a bunch of you have it. Found this on Amazon. I got a birthday coming up. I mentioned it to my lovely bride, and she went ahead and purchased it. Gave it to me early, maybe on accident, but I don't care. So I'm psyched to use it. Got all my stuff here. Very cool. So thank you, honey, if you are watching this. Appreciate the early birthday present. Also, full disclosure, shameless plug, only because I'm really digging the design. But check out this shirt, right? SDG logo, Soli, Gloria, and then down at the bottom, it's got a fly on one side because we use a lot of fly fishing materials, natural materials, things like that, as well as fly fishing techniques. But then you've got the jig fishing over here. So I call this the SDG Fusion shirt because it's the fusion of fly fishing and jig fishing, conventional bass fishing. So if you like this design, you want to get one of your own, you know, all the proceeds from it would go to the channel. You can help support the channel in that way. But down in the description, I've got a Teespring account or Teespring store linked down there. You'll find this one and a bunch of the other ones. Actually, all the other shirts that you see me wear on the channel, hoodies as well, even some ladies' shirts if you've got some significant others that you think may like something like that. So go check it out if you want. I'm just psyched to wear it because I think it looks really sweet. So with that out of the way, today, I'm going to tell you a story. A tale of 10 tales, if you will. Got this idea. Wouldn't it be cool to pour 10 jig heads, same size, small ones, and put 10 different tails on the back of it and just see how each one flows, how it compares in the test tank. So that is what we are going to do today. You saw the picture on the thumbnail of all those 10 tails lined up there, but I'm going to walk through the materials in the order that you're going to see them on the test tank or in the test tank, and then you guys can decide which one you like better or which one you like best. So I'm hoping you get lots of comments down in the comments area telling me which one you liked, why you liked it. As a starting point, I tried to make every tail about 1.5 times the length of the hook where that was possible. So if it went longer than that, I cut it down. If it was just inherently too short to do that, which I don't think, there was one that came close, but I think just about all of them got that, at least that 1.5 inch length or 1.5 hook size length. Just to get a good sample size, right? Everything's got to be the same or as close to it as possible. So here are the 10 materials. So the first one is going to be, and these are all olive or some, brownish olive look. So we got olive colored bucktail, a nice sparse one, and we've got sculpin olive marabou. Those are probably the two classic tails, right? Then I've got 2 pieces of olive soft hackle, saddle hackle, tied in. We've got one that's 6 strands doubled over of silicone, just straight silicone. Then I did a tail of all flash. Again, this is 3 strands cut in half and then doubled over. So you got roughly the same amount as the silicone. I pulled out some Arctic fox tail. This is not Arctic fox fur, but the tail because it's longer. So we've got that in olive as well. The next one will be pheasant rump. So I went all the way down to the longest rump feathers. Didn't pull the marabou since we did that elsewhere, but went all the way down to the rump feathers, grabbed 2 of those and match those up. So that's on that one. Let's see. And then we did 6 barbels of ostrich. Couldn't go through this without a little squirrel. So the second to last one is going to be Squirrel Tail. And then lastly, the staple, one of the many staples on the channel, Rabbit Zonker. And I left it on the strip. It's a Zonker strip, 1/4 inch wide, the same stuff that I usually use. You could do it with 1/8 of an inch, maybe get some more movement out of it. I don't know what it's going to look like, but just wanted you to know the parameters here. I was going to do just rabbit fur, but you can see it's just not long enough for 1.5 inches or 1.5 hooks. So that's the materials. They're all on 1/8 ounce freestyle heads, and not that it matters, but I tied them all on with 210 denier flat wax nylon in olive. So I guess the only thing left to do is head over to the test tank and see which one you like the best. What'd you guys think? Did you have any surprises? Right? You probably knew you were going to like some material more than other. Maybe you've never seen some of that stuff isolated in a test tank before. I know I haven't. I've seen it on different jigs throughout, but it was pretty cool to see each one individually. Some of you may actually be asking, hey Adam, what about craft fur? Craft fur? That would have been a good one to add, maybe in replace of the silicone or something, so it was all kind of that fur line, feather, hackle type stuff. Reason I didn't do craft fur is because I don't have any. I used to have some way back when, and quite honestly, and this is just me, I didn't like working with it. I didn't like how it felt. I didn't like manipulating it, so I got rid of it a long time ago. Maybe I'll go back to it someday, give it another shot, but that's why you didn't see craft fur in this makeup. But anyway, I'm very curious to hear what you guys think. One takeaway, I'm gonna keep my personal opinion quiet so as not to sway any votes or whatever on what you guys thought looked the best and why. But a couple takeaways. I got two takeaways. One, secondary motion. So jigging a fly or jigging a jig, right? Moving a jig like that. If you're not moving it, whether it's a floating fly or not, if you're just kind of moving it slowly or not moving at all, right, under a floating fly, secondary motion is going to be critical. So if you want it, so do you want it kind of dead stick where there's not motion at all? Or do you want, even though you're not actively working the jig, do you want some secondary motion where the current is kind of grabbing it? And some of that material you could see certainly worked better if you're looking for secondary motion. Some of it was you've got to impart the action to get anything out of it, and then it's a dead stick after that. So I thought that was really interesting. There was one standout for me, again, going to keep it quiet, going to keep it a secret for now, but there was one standout for me that had really good secondary action that I wasn't counting on. So I'll leave you guys to guess what that was. The only other takeaway I had two. That was one. Second one is the rabbit zonker. So this rabbit zonker, this stuff is so powerful in how it floats that if you are going to use it as a tail, you've got to use it on something that's moving. At least that's my opinion. I put each one of those jigs up in the current so you could see what it looks like if you're pulling it to you in a current, not as a slow jig. So it looked better then, but this strip, even the smaller length that it was, the float on this is so powerful, right? The buoyancy, it just picked it straight up and that jig head was down. So unless you're looking for that kind of a look, that was one of the big takeaways I had, at least on the rabbit fur, that every time I use it, I'm just shocked. I'm amazed at how well it floats. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about using it for tails. Crawfish, crawdad, crayfish, whatever you call them, claws, standing up, defensive position, dynamite. Some other applications may not be the one you go to. So anyway, this was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Be sure to leave your comments down in the comment section. I really want to hear which one you like best and why you liked it. Maybe even how you would use it in your application. So I guess without anything else to say here, I'm looking forward to reading those comments. And if you want to watch more videos, more jig tying videos just like this, then click on this video right here. If you're curious why we call the channel what we call it, then click on this video right here. Otherwise, until the next time, I'll see you guys at the vise.